All right. I think I'm where I need to be here. Okay, so I got about 8:50. I'm going to record this session. This is the first spotlight session that I'm kind of been getting used to and learning how to let my way around it. I'm sure I'm going to be a novice right now with how to maneuver around it, but I'm going to try to spend some more time with it. I think I learned how to share my screen, and we may be doing some breakout groups later on in the semester when we start digging into the physiology and anatomy sections. But the purpose of this first session, I guess, is to kind of go over a blackboard and help students understand how to navigate it, see where their grades are, their course sections, who their lab instructor is, who their lecture instructor is, and hopefully just kind of further solidify their confidence in that the students know what they're doing and they know what to expect from them, know what to expect, and everybody's on the same page, and we can kind of roll out this semester as best we can with COVID semester part 2. So my name's Drew Mattmiller. I'm one of the lab instructors, and I had my first lab tonight. I was kind of hoping some of my students would pop in, but it doesn't look like anybody wants to come online tonight. But that's okay. I think that may tell me that people are more comfortable with Blackboard and getting around and the syllabus than what I anticipated. But that's okay. I think as we go farther into the semester and we start getting into osmolality and osmosis and muscle physiology, and when we talk about some complicated concepts, especially in lecture, I hope that these spotlight sessions will be helpful. And sometimes it's always great because when you hear from the lecture instructor through a computer, or you hear it from a lab instructor and it doesn't quite make sense, you can jump on some of these spotlight sessions and get a completely different perspective of what's going on. So that'll be kind of exciting. So I jotted down quite a number of things here I wanted to go over. And we won't, like I said, we won't be doing too much interactive material on this one, basically because it didn't look like anybody wants to show up for the first day, and that's okay. I think my schedule for these Bio137s, I have a Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m., Monday, which is tonight, 8:45 to 9:45 p.m., and then Wednesday and Friday are the early birds, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I do not anticipate this meeting going to, closer to 9:45 unless we get some people popping in or they signed up late and they're going to pop in this session. But so I think the big thing I want to hammer on right now is the difference between your lab instructor and your lecture instructor. So since COVID has came about, we decided to combine a bunch of the Blackboard shells. And what that has mean is that I, as a lab instructor, share multiple, I share the Blackboard shell with multiple lab instructors in their sections. And sometimes that can be confusing because if an announcement comes on Blackboard and a student is from somebody else's lab section, that they may be confused of why they're getting messages from me. And sometimes you just have to realize who that person is, where it's coming from. Or in my circumstance, at least with my students, I usually primarily use email. That way I can talk to my students directly, upload certain documents if I need be. Most of the time, my documents will be uploaded from Blackboard, and I can probably speak to the rest of the lab instructors that they will upload most of their documents on Blackboard, and they may do like a secondary email and give you some more documents on the email. So it's going to be just a tad confusing at first, and then I think once you spend more time with it, you'll quickly understand who your lab instructor is and who your lecture instructor is. More than likely, they're going to be two different people. I know I have two of the in-person labs, one I had tonight, and I'll have another one on Wednesday. I was trying to kind of point that out. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that if you have a question regarding lab is to reach out to your lab instructor. Your lecture person, your fully online lecture person will more than likely direct you to your lab instructor, but the chances are they may not have the answer to that question regarding lab, and vice versa. I try to not answer questions about lecture unless it's conceptual information. If you have a question about osmosis or diffusion, and it wasn't quite clear, sometimes, if you get a different perspective, you can certainly understand it. So, or you can apply it to real world. So that's always helpful. And I hope to get into that with these spotlight instructions or the spotlight sessions, because if we get this kind of going a little bit, we can get some interaction and people don't feel so shy and they can answer questions, or if they're a little confused. I suspect that these will become ultra popular probably right before exams and quizzes. So, and that brings me to my first point. I'm going to try to be as organized as possible here, but I'm just kind of I'm learning this somewhat on the fly, and I think I'll be more organized with my sessions later on down in the semester, especially when we get into physiology and anatomy. But a lot of this is just formality stuff, right? A lot of you all probably, if you get to watch this maybe later in the week and you haven't had your lab or lecture yet, this will kind of give you a first dose of what to expect in lab 1, or even lecture 1, which is pretty much like a introductory session, and to help you maneuver around Blackboard. So I want to see if I can share my screen, because I want to show you. I want to click on this and I want to share. I read the YouTube video and they said do not do this, and I just did it. Now I know why. Okay, let me stop sharing. I apologize. I was supposed to check a box from her YouTube video. Let's do share application. Apologize. Let me see if this is gonna, no, this is the same thing. Okay, well, I will have to work on that. Okay, I wanted to bring up Blackboard, and I'll try to explain this as best as possible because I want to show you all where your course section is. Okay, there's questions about your course section. In your course section, when you log into Blackboard, it's going to have all your courses there. Whether you're going to have your Bio137s, your math, your Englishes, et cetera, et cetera. And the way these classes are labeled is that they're going to have Bio137, and then they're going to have your course section. Mine, let me see if I can pull my courses up. It would have like human anatomy and physiology with lab, and then you're going to have like a Bio137 merge, and it's going to be like 19ZF, period, 19Z6, period, 19Z7. And all those 4-letter words are your course section. Okay, so that gives you an idea. Normally, I would ask you all to try to screenshot this if you know how to. I know different computers do different screenshots, and you can kind of interact, but you can probably do that on your own if you watch this at a later time. So that is your course section. Okay. Now, the next thing is I jotted down is how do you contact your professor? Well, I told my students, on my syllabus, I offered my cell phone number and my email, and you can either call, text, or email. I'm not the biggest texter. I think usually it's just easier to speak on the phone or through email. But if something's always pertinent, you can email your professor. I know a lot of people do email, and I know some professors or instructors do cell phone. That could be found in their syllabus on the front page. And I think you may find like a common theme with this session is that a lot of the questions you may have is that it's in the syllabus, and it should be laid out fairly nicely. I think I had a joke with one student last semester, and they said that Mr. Mattmiller, you should wear a shirt that says it's in the syllabus, because it seems like a lot of the first weeks or so when people are just getting used to it, that chances are they can find their answer like that through their syllabus, and they don't have to wait for a response or from their instructor. So I do encourage you to spend some time in the syllabus and understand what's required, and kind of keep you up to date. And really, honestly, with this period going on right now, it helps with my anxiety too, because I know what's expected of me, and I can be able to deliver and and get the points that I need so I can move on with my academic career. So now, how should you contact your professor? Well, I guess a quick question is either email, call, or text. Everybody has different availabilities. My availability will probably be mid-afternoon into the night and early in the morning. So if you're having a hard time getting in touch with somebody and you want to reach out to myself, Andrew Mattmiller, Mattmiller 0001 at KCTCS, I will help direct your email to your lecture instructor or your lab. If it's a Bio137 lab, I can probably, chances are I may be able to answer it. I know Dr. McCain certainly will, because she's the program director and she knows the program in and out. But so how should you contact your professor? Just like so, through email, call, or text. So what is the attendance policy? The attendance policy seems to be, as Sheldon put it in his syllabus, I love it, seems to be a tricky word these days. And I think it's correct. Everybody's syllabus is outlined differently with that. With my in-person meetings, normally I've offered students who are quarantined or who prefer to stay home, they can visit through Zoom that I do, or they can come in person if they feel like they need more hands-on attention, and then they can also do these spotlight sessions, right? So attendance policy, I think the way I'm going to leave this is that I encourage each student to check out their syllabus, and it'll be outlined very in a detailed manner of what the professor or instructor expects from the students. I know they have to. Some of them have said they have to check into Blackboard at least twice a week. And honestly, if you really want to succeed in Bio137, you probably want to check your Blackboard and your email at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. I know people like to check their social media and their other emails, and they want to text. You should probably try to work in Blackboard too. I know it's probably something that you want to look forward to because it may be something that pops up, but if you really want to stay on the ball, and I encourage you to do that, is to check Blackboard and check your email. I don't want to be overzealous, but multiple times a day. I know I do, because I try to get back with students, because I know I'm just one of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more classes that they're taking, and sometimes lab doesn't become a priority until there's like test time or quiz time. So I try to be approachable and accessible as possible. So the attendance policy, please check out the syllabus and make sure you understand what the expectation is from your lecturer or lab person. With my sections, I will definitely go over this. We went over it tonight. We're going to go over it on Wednesday, kind of what I expect and really what you need to do to succeed in lab and lecture. Okay, so what is a no-show assignment? So the no-show assignment, I think, is something that the college decided to install a number of years ago. I'm not sure when, but it basically means, from my understanding, it has something to do with your student loans and I guess just to ensure that you get your student loan in a disbursement, and that you are participating into the class and you are a student. So it's very important that students will fill out the no-show assignment, and that records the fact that yes, you are present in the, I think you only have to do this one time, and that's in the beginning of the semester, and there's a deadline on it. Please reach out to your lecturer, professor, or instructor to make sure that it's and should be somewhere on Blackboard. Sometimes they count it as a quiz. If you take quiz number 1, that counts as the no-show assignment. So sometimes you have to do that, or there's like a little assignment regarding a syllabus, and all that can be found on Blackboard, probably under course documents, or I think we can try to, if I could try to reflect my screen there without having that mirror image. I thought I had that figured out, and I apologize. It looks like I didn't. I don't want to fool around with it and waste people's time. But it's definitely going to be on Blackboard, if not now, if not very soon this week. Okay, so make sure you complete the no-show assignment. It's very important. If you do not complete it, I think at one point you were purged from the class, and it'll affect, it's a kind of a messy thing, and we have to, if you wanted to be in it and you got dropped, then we have to try to get you in it, and it may mess up your student loans, and there may be some unavoidable or avoidable fees. I'm not sure, but it's a big deal that we try to complete that no-show assignment as soon as possible. I know for some of the labs, I think quiz 1, make sure you complete quiz 1. I believe is a 20-point quiz that we touched on tonight, and you will, other students will, in their lab sections. That is the no-show assignment. Okay, so what are the components of your course grade? Those can also be found in the syllabus. I think I'll probably only speak to the lab portion right now. I did briefly look over Sheldon's, because he's one of my lecture instructors, and I didn't want to comment too much on it because he's going to go over it likely in his videos, and I didn't want to misspeak. But I can speak about is the lab portion, and there's quizzes and there's exams. There's nothing really to turn in the lab portion. The lab portion is quizzes and exams. All right, there's 2 20-point quizzes. I think the first one is quiz 1, so we want to make sure we get off on a good start, and we learn all the quiz 1 material, or lab exercise 1 material, because it's a 20-point quiz, and it's a little bit bigger of a chunk, and I want to remind you that's the one we cannot drop. We can only drop 10-point quizzes. We cannot drop 20-point quizzes. So it's something that you definitely want to hammer home and do well on. So, and I believe there's 10 quizzes, and there are 3 exams, and these are all laid out in the syllabus on what we're going to cover. I know many lab instructors, including myself, will kind of give you an idea of what's coming up and how to be successful, and certainly we will touch on this on the spotlight sections when things get close. I'll say this is what I think would be on there. If I was a student, I would look at this and kind of zero in to make sure students are focusing on high yield material, and they're really in the direction of spending their time wisely on the lab exams, because I know sometimes they can coincide with lecture exams, and lab exams get put on the back burner, and I understand everybody may have kids, or they may have a job, and they're trying to balance school, and that's what these spotlight sessions are here for, is to just try to make sure that students do spend adequate amount of time to succeed in Bio137 so they can move on to Bio139. And I think I can speak for all professors and instructors that at BCTC that we all try to be good facilitators of students' ambitions. And this is what these spotlight sessions are used for. So with that being said, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent, but please utilize these. And I suspect we'll be getting a lot more of attendance when we start getting into the nitty-gritty material. Okay. Course grades, that is, I briefly touched on that. How many exams do you have? We have 3 exams in lab. Double check on the lecture syllabus. I'm sure your lecture instructor will touch on that. I don't want to say because I don't have it in front of me. Okay, so what do the weekly assignments and homeworks consist of? That is something also going to be in the lecture syllabus. I think they're going to be doing some online homework perhaps, or at least exercises to kind of reinforce some of the material that we, the lecturer instructors and professors are kind of helping teach their students online. I think that's the challenge, is that it's online. I think all lecture is online this semester, so it is a little bit of a challenge to try to get everybody on board. I know a lot of the lecture instructors and professors have been doing YouTube videos they've been working on Collaborate or even Zoom. I'm a Zoom person, just because I've had to learn myself, and as of right now, Zoom is what I'm comfortable with. I may graduate to YouTube or Collaborate if I spend enough time with it, but certainly we're taking this one baby step at a time. It's my top priority that students feel comfortable with gaining the material, feel comfortable with learning the material, whether in person or at home, especially with a positivity rate being above 12%, which is probably 3 times the size it was last year. At this time, last semester is around 4 or 5%. Now we're up to 12%. So now more than ever, it's good that we are open to students getting this material one way or another, and the spotlight sessions will certainly help with this. Okay, rambled on there. So what is the makeup policy? And the makeup policy, I think, at least from, I have the lab, and every professor will detail this in their first week when they go over the lab, and they may be different, but really what it boils down to is, and what is an excusable absence? Okay. I just turned to it. Major religious holidays is one. Either college sponsored or approved trips, and probably the big one that tends to happen is the illness of a student, or a serious illness or death of a member of the student's immediate family. So that is straight out of the lab Bio137 syllabus. That now there may be some wiggle room there, as if you can show some kind of proof, I guess, or understanding. I suspect a lot of instructors and professors will be lenient on that. Life does happen, and especially during this year, a lot of things surprisingly are happening. So what I mean is, i.e., positive test or quarantine or being secondary exposures. So sometimes you just have to work around it. Okay, so that is, I want to keep it on this page, and I'm probably going to go down to the withdrawal policy next. Now, the withdrawal policy is the main date, I think, if you want to decide, and you will be reminded of this when it gets closer, is March 8th. Monday, March 8th is the deadline to withdraw. Right? This is also detailed in the syllabus under withdrawal policy, page 6. Students will be permitted to withdraw. They can withdraw by March 8th on their own discretion. However, students will be permitted to withdraw from Tuesday the 9th through Monday the 5th, but you have to request a withdrawal through PeopleSoft. It's a couple more hoops you have to jump through, and I encourage everybody to stay in the lecture and lab. I think you'll get a good idea where you're performing by March 8th. But I always try to tell students that I encourage everybody to stay in and just kind of, if you feel like you're struggling, please reach out, and we will get you as many resources as we can. Now, let me see. Before I talk about resources, that is my next point I want to make, and that's tutoring. But I have one more thing I have to say. After Monday, April 5th, a student may not withdraw from Bio137. That is bolded in the syllabus, so please review that. You probably won't, if you feel like you're on the fence and you want to withdraw, I do encourage you to reach out to your lecturer and reach out to your lab instructor and kind of see where we can help you out. Chances are it could be a quick fix, or it could be tutoring sessions. I do hope that everybody will not let it fester too long, if you know what I mean. If you feel like you're slipping, or you feel like you may need extra help, please reach out sooner rather than later, because sometimes it just takes time to get you back on track. And the longer you wait, the more precarious the situation can become. So I will say that as just as some advice. Okay, tutoring. I think Dr. Schneider answered my email, and This is when I wish I could share my screen, but I don't want to do it right now. There is, let me see if I can pull this up. Dr. Schneider got back to me tonight, and we have, as of right now, we have a tutor, Ellen Sam, okay? And her email is esam001@kctcs.edu. And it looks like she's tutoring from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. All right. So now I asked this, and she says she can also do appointment also. So just again, and that is from 1 to 4. That is 137 and 139. So she's doing a lot, and most of these tutors are very helpful, very helpful. I remember hopefully when we get back to normal times, we can have I know in the first semester, at least I taught, we had a tutor that came to lab, and she was there, and she was something I didn't know, or something that, because it was my first semester, she certainly knew the answer to the question, and some students just saw her as more approachable. I'm not too much older than some of you all, but I know they certainly found her more approachable than me sometimes. So Ellen Sam is going to be our tutor, and she's going to be very accessible, I think, through her email on there, esam00 3 zeros and then 1 at kctcs.edu. Her role will definitely become a lot more bigger, I think, when quizzes and exams start coming in, certainly. And we may be adding more tutors as the semester rolls on. I wouldn't be surprised with that. Okay, so what is my next thing I want to do here? The e-textbook. Yes, the e-textbook. I think this class has e-textbooks, and those are free. They're free. Now you have to log into McGraw-Hill. I will say that many professors, and don't quote me on this, will usually pull questions from their PowerPoints. Now, if you want to use the textbook as another resource or reinforce a concept, please do. Some people are textbook folks. I certainly was when I was in your all's shoes. If I didn't understand something, I went to the textbook. I would use the textbook as a secondary option. I think a lot of the PowerPoints are going to be where the questions are, and that could be found on Blackboard. I think if you were to go into a course, it's going to have ebook there on the left-hand side, and it's a tab. Now, this reminds me of something I want to bring up. Back to quizzes and exams. I had this jotted down, and I skipped right over it. This semester, we did this last semester, and I think hopefully, well, we'll just see how this goes. The first exam was a little rough, and then we finally got it smoothed out. We're going to be doing exams on Proctio, which is a online exam proctor, okay? And when it gets closer, I think your lecture and your lab instructor will have directions on how to load it onto your computer. And as long as you follow the directions to a T, it should work. This semester, I will definitely start this earlier and make sure everybody's got Proctio working, because it caused a lot of anxiety and stress on the first exam last year, but I think we got it worked out this semester, obviously, because we're going back to it. So your quizzes, or excuse me, just only your exams, and I can speak to lab. I'm pretty sure lecture will be the same, but to lab, it is going to be Proctio is going to how we're going to issue out the exams. So not a big deal. You can take it at the comfort of your home. You can take it in the silence, and we'll touch on more details when we get closer. Okay, now to get back on track, you have weekly assignments, okay, and this is something that you can always go back to your syllabus. This is probably more speaking to lecture versus lab. Lab's going to be just quizzes and exams, but if you go to lecture, I think each of your instructors are probably going to have this class laid out a little differently, and they will cover this in their lecture videos on what to expect and where to find it. And mostly what I can speak of, at least to the lab quizzes, that our lab quizzes are gonna run from Monday to Thursday. Okay, and these are also detailed out in the syllabus. You can have the quizzes, I believe, will be timed. They're probably anywhere from 5 to 10 questions. The 10-point ones, of course. The 20-point ones are more likely going to be 18 to 20 questions. They're going to be timed, and that way students can learn the material, and then when they're ready within that 4-day window, take it, and then they can get their grade placed right on Blackboard. Now, that brings up another point. I want to go back to Blackboard, and when I could show you all this, it'd be a lot easier. And I definitely will teach myself on how to do that on Monday, or my next spotlight session. But I want to show you where your gradebook is. And how I do this is at the very bottom where it says course management. Let's say you have to click on a course, right? And once you click on a course, you go down over to the left-hand side, the very bottom under course management, and you're going to see Grade Center. Okay, and when you click on Grade Center, I just click on Full Grade Center. Now you all may say, Mattmiller, that's too many clicks. I know how to do this directly, and if you do, please do. I'm a creature of habit. I kind of taught myself how to use the gradebook, and then that's how I kind of access the gradebook. But the good thing is that chances are when you take your quiz or your exam, your grades are going to be posted right up there, so you can see how you did. I know I did averages last year for the class. You can kind of see how you're doing against the class and go from there. Some professors may do that, some may not. But that is just a quick and easy way of getting your grade, keeping track of your grade, which is important. It's important to understand so you know exactly where you are in your lecture series, and in your lab series, which will be a little bit different because a bunch of lab instructors are sharing the same Blackboard shell, right? So we have to make sure we're not putting in duplicate quizzes. And we were pretty good about that last year, at least in the sections I was involved with. Now, I might have had a few boo-boos on myself early on, but I certainly corrected those awfully quickly, and I learned from my mistake. So you will have an idea of what your quiz grade is, and if not, you can always reach out to your lab instructor, and they can help you out. Where was I going to go? You can jot at the end of your syllabus is a sheet of paper that tells you. Here, I got this in a physical form, and this will help you fill out. If the camera will focus there, you can kind of understand where you are in the lab, and you can write down your points earned, and you can have an idea. If not, reach out to one of us, and we can help you out and tell you exactly where you are. That's pretty important because that way there's no surprises, and you want to be able to pass the class, I believe, with a C or above to move on to Bio139. That is also detailed in the syllabus. Okay, so there is embedded tutoring, and this is new to me. This is also found in the syllabus. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm going to read this off to you. This class is served by the BCTC ASSET. ASSET is an acronym for Achieving Student Success with Embedded Tutors. It's a program. Embedded tutors will help facilitate small group exercises or discussions both in and outside of class. Tutors can assist students in learning how to effectively utilize technology, schedule and facilitate tutor sessions with individual students, or help a group of students who require additional support. This may be part of the spotlight session, and serve as a contact between instructors and students, and serve as mentoring and helping students foster connections with students. Maybe not. Maybe there's something else. I will get clarification on that, and we will clear that up probably next week or at least Monday. If you want to watch me again, I'll be back on Wednesday at 8 a.m. I guess the most important thing is that this is free tutoring. This is a free, a very valuable resource to students, especially in these times where you may be learning from a distance and you require, extra attention. I know I certainly did when I was in your all's shoes. a couple years ago going through graduate school. The important thing is to reach out, and that way when test time comes around, you can just nail it, hammer it down, and kill it, and do what you need to do to move on to the higher levels of or be accepted into a program. The thing about Bio137 is it serves hygienists, it serves radiology, it serves surgical tech, laboratory tech, it serves nursing. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, maybe veterinary, but there's a lot. So it's a melting pot of students from all different backgrounds, and it's important that students that we're here for students who need help, and especially during these times, there's no student left behind here. So that's pretty much certainly the theme with these spotlight sessions. So tutoring is a big deal. It's there. It's more detailed out in the syllabus. Please check that out. There's something called the Hub now that provides student orientations and peer monitoring, study skills, and workshops. And then there is, you can schedule a tutoring session, I believe, through Thinking Storm. There is a hyperlink in the syllabus. This is all on page 7. So please check that out if you're interested, or reach out to myself or your lecturer and lab instructor. Okay, let's see. There may be discussion boards. That is something I jotted down. That's something we don't use in lab, but certainly in lecture there may be a discussion portion, especially on online formats. I know when I was taking online classes, your instructors obviously wanted you to interact with different students, and at least, they may throw a question up like, what do you think about this? Like, for instance, like current events, right? All right, here we go. Like, what do you think about the COVID-19 vaccine, right? And then this would be posted in a discussion board, and then you could jot down what you think, and you could get your points through that way. That's usually how discussion boards have been used in the past. It's more like an interaction tool. It gets you thinking about certain things. Like if we're going to go over immunology, why not post an awesome question about the COVID-19 vaccine? How much do you really understand about the COVID-19 vaccine? And why do you have to take 2 doses? Why does it hurt? Well, it hurts because your immune system is reacting to the vaccine and injected in you. Trust me, it's a good thing. I just got mine. Saturday was a bad day for me on that, but it's a good thing. So that, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that the discussion board it's an interaction tool, and that can be found in Blackboard. If you click on your course, and I'm not sure if these discussion boards are part of your lecture grade or not, but they can be found somewhere on the left-hand side. Usually it'll be a built-in tab on the course section. And if the discussion boards are part of your class grade, then I'm sure your lecturer instructor will go over it, and it'll be detailed out in your syllabus. In the lab portion, we do not do that. We will do all of our interaction either through Zoom or through in-class meetings. Okay, so I think I'm learning to see what else I have. I might have touched on everything I wanted to touch on. Maybe I spoke too quickly. There may be things I'm forgetting, but I've hammered you with 45 minutes of nonstop me talking. I think normally this would be like breakout groups where I may send you out and try to find these ourselves and do some kind of interaction. Normally what I'll probably do in my meetings, I don't know if they're always going to be recorded. I know that we're going to record them the first week or so, but the point is that students would attend X amount of sessions per week or per semester. Now, I think you have to attend the first 3 of these to get your points, and then if you get an A or B on the exam, you may be exonerated for maybe 2 of them of your required listenings to these spotlight sessions. But your lab and lecture instructor will definitely go over that, and if I get an email about anything that I misspoke on, I will definitely correct that later in the week. But I think the point is there should be an attendance button somewhere through here. that you can click on and record your attendance, and that way you're able to show and you get your points, or something, acknowledge it from your lecturer or lab instructor that yes, you did attend this spotlight session. They're only, maybe sometimes they may be closer to an hour, they may be 20 minutes, they may be a full hour. I will have to see how this goes, especially with me. And I think once we kind of get into the, maybe exam prep or something like that, where we'll go through the study guide, I think a lot of people will start, it'd be in their best interest to check in, and we'll go over some high yield information. Okay. So I think that is everything I want to speak about. I'm probably forgetting something, but I wrote down everything on my list to talk about, and everything that Dr. McCain and I wanted to discuss. It's just I think the point there is what we talked about is that there is a difference between your lab instructor and your lecture instructor. So please reach out to the right person, and you can find those on your syllabus, on your lab portion and your lecture portion. Syllabus. There should be two different syllabi, one for your lecture and then one for your lab. There should be a lab manual uploaded also with your lab exercises. And if you have questions, please reach out. If you don't know who your lab instructor is, or if you feel comfortable emailing me, please do, and I'll get you that answer. Or I'll send you the right person who can answer that. But the big things right now is to spend time with Blackboard. Learning where your course content is, where your syllabus is, where your course section is. And then I want to focus and encourage you to spend time on Blackboard. Another high priority thing is to do the no-show assignment. Okay, do the no-show assignment. If you have questions, reach out. Everybody's, you'll find that everybody's very approachable, and they're here to help you. And we're gonna pull through and kind of get the wheels going here on the semester. And I think after a week or so, everything will start to settle down, and you'll get the hang of it. My anxiety level is even up to here, and I'm just an instructor, so I can kind of understand where everybody's coming from. At least trying to learn online for the first time, or figuring out where they need to be. I think I had a student tonight that couldn't find the building that we were in, so I got to get her caught up, and that's okay. So I think that's it. I think that's all I want to say. I'm kind of rambling on here. If I missed something, I'm sure email me, and if I'll definitely clear it up on the 8 a.m. and hopefully I'll have participants. If I have participants, we can do different things, just a talking head on your screen. So, okay, I'm going to end it right now, and everybody enjoy the rest of their week. And if you have any questions, please reach out. And Happy New Year.